Danny Carvajal's words landed like a thunderclap across the football world. If he wins a record 7th Champions League with Real Madrid and lifts the World Cup with Spain this season, he will step away from the game at the very peak of his powers. That sentence, equal parts dare declaration and tantalizing promise, has forced supporters and skeptics into the same uneasy conversation about legacy, timing, and the rarest form of sporting completeness. Carvajal's return from a serious knee injury has not been a quiet footnote in his career, but a defining chapter. The long recovery, the mental grind, the late nights of rehab all feed into why this public condition feels credible rather than flippant. He has come back into national team training with trust intact, displaying the kind of tactical maturity and leadership that makes managers hand him responsibility in big moments. When a player of his experience speaks about retirement, not as an inevitability, but as a negotiable outcome tied to glory, the sport listens. The dual condition he set is brutally simple and brutally difficult. A 7th Champions League with Real Madrid would cement his place in the club's modern mythology. A World Cup with Spain would place him at the summit of international achievement. To pull both off in the arc of a single season is to stitch two of football's most elusive crowns together. An alignment of club momentum, national form, injury luck, and decisive moments both in Europe and on the global stage. Social media erupted almost instantly. Some fans treated it like a fairy tale to live through. Others cracked jokes about the transfer market nightmare of finding a replacement, and pundits began to map the probabilities with clinical skepticism. Inside the Real Madrid dressing room, such words will not be neutral. Younger fullbacks will watch him differently. Teammates will measure each game through the lens of possibility. Coaches will have to weigh his minutes between preserving fitness and riding the form of a player who clearly wants to chase perfection. The club faces a quiet but urgent calculus. Celebrate the chance for an unforgettable capstone while quietly planning for a succession that may be forced by triumph rather than necessity. For Spain, the declaration layers extra meaning onto an already fraught campaign. International tournaments are capricious, decided by small margins and larger narratives, and having a veteran who has lost time to injury but regained form can both steady a backline and shift team morale. Yet realism must temper romance. Knockout football and global tournaments punish hubris. Injuries, tactical missteps, or a single off night can undo months of effort. That makes Carvajal's vow both audacious and vulnerable. Audacious because it imagines perfection, vulnerable because it stakes a career on outcomes partly outside his control. Beyond the practicalities, there is a human heartbeat to this story. Athletes rarely script their own final act. Retirements are usually responses to dwindling form, chronic injury, or fading passion. To attempt an exit by design at the precise summit of achievement is a form of agency we rarely see and cannot help but admire. If he accomplishes both feats, his legacy will be burnished with a final chapter few can match, a fighter, a leader, and a player who chose to leave the stage when the applause was loudest. If he does not, the declaration will still have altered the season. Opponents will mark him differently. Fans will read extra urgency into his performances, and every successful tackle or defensive header may be framed as a potential part of a story heading for an operatic finish. Either way, the words have already changed the narrative. The coming months are now freighted with possibility. Each fixture at the Bernabeu and every Spain match will be watched not only for the 3 points or the tactical plan, but for the broader question lingering behind every whistle. Will this be the campaign that allows a captain to choose his own farewell? For Real Madrid and for La Regia, the chase is no longer merely about trophies. It has become a chase for an ending, a chance to give a leader the send-off he has audaciously demanded, or to watch a noble quest fall agonizingly short. That tension is precisely why this season has been transformed into must-see sport, because careers and club histories can still change in a single swing of fortune, and because one man's vow has made every match a potential turning point in the story of modern football.